Big ass smile. You know, of course, Dr. De La Cruz, you've heard it obviously, and we've heard a lot of discussion in the media about hormone replacement, bioidentical hormones, this, and lots of media mix. You deal with this issue regularly in your practice. Where do you fall on this issue?
Well, you know, I've had the good fortune, I've had good teachers that help me to see the importance of balancing hormones. Because hormone imbalance is inevitable. And it's inevitable just because we're aging. It's inevitable because of stress, always makes hormone imbalance worse. Not to mention toxins and potential for heavy metals in many of the patients I deal with, especially patients that just don't get better. And the whole idea about hormone balancing is what taught me to start thinking of medicine in terms of restoring health. I remember Eldred Taylor mentioning that in a lecture, you know, a physician, one trained in the art of restoring health. Not just one trained in the art of writing prescriptions, but restoring health. And when I talk about hormones, it's not necessarily that everybody's going to get hormones, but the idea that we need to look at their hormones to get a sense of where they're at. We get a sense of how unbalanced or balanced their life is. So in most of the cases where I see women more than men, because most doctors see women more than men, more women go to doctors. But in balancing their hormones, often it might be just giving them certain supplements that will support the adrenals. It might be giving them some simple progesterone so they don't have to take sleeping pills or antidepressants or anti-anxiety agents, because the real problem is that their progesterone level is dropping in their 40s, not that they have a Prozac deficiency.
You know, it seems very key that you find the right physician for these hormone balancing therapies, because it's not easy. This isn't something you should guess at. Hormones are serious things, but the good news is through diet and supplements, you can naturally balance a lot of your hormone levels.
But you know, it's correct, because one of the things I've heard more than once that when I go to the conferences, you know, where other MDs are presenting information about hormones and their experience, etc., and they keep reminding us, and don't forget to tell your patients that no matter how well anybody balances your hormones, it still goes back to lifestyle. It still goes back to eating right, sleeping, exercising, managing your stress. And that's why it's interesting. Actually, in my practice, in my private practice, all my patients get a copy of Balancing Act. I just give it to them.
Right.
Because in principle, that's really the perfect complement to anything we do regarding their nutrition, regarding their lifestyle, exercise, sleep, all of it.
Well, isn't that really the place to start? With the things we can control ourselves most easily in our everyday routine?
You know what, it goes back to self-health. Right, what can I do? I remember patients that said to me, or even other doctors says, why don't you learn acupuncture? And I said, well, I think acupuncture can be very effective, and I send patients to doctors for acupuncture on occasion. But I still have to send them to somebody else. My patients aren't going to do acupuncture on themselves, but they can practice self-health skills that will really make a difference, a positive impact on their health. That's where I want to work. You know, I'm glad somebody else is doing the acupuncture, and I'm glad somebody else is doing the homeopathy. There's a lot of good stuff in each of those fields.